Hello everyone, welcome to my class. Today, our first lesson is about the slopes and linear equation. Now, let's start. Lesson 0.1, slope and linear equation. Okay, I think that this knowledge is very familiar with you because you learned it in the secondary school. But today, in my first lessons, I want to review you some basic knowledge and some skill when you do some exercises about the slopes and linear equations. Okay, so I will to remember you some symbols denote the slope of the line. The slope line is the symbols by the letter M. So we have a formula, slopes equal M is rise over run. Okay, we have a coordination. It's y length here. Its axis and y-axis. Two axes is perpendicular together, and we have an origin O. Yeah, we have a line. So the slope is angles of theta here, and tan tangents of this angle tan theta is also a slope. I think that you remember the trigonometric formula. Tangent of angle theta equals the rise over run, or we can say that it's either opposite side and it is the adjacent side. In Sukha formula, we have an A O over A. Yeah, so is it delta y and is it delta x? Delta y over delta x. So the formula of slope, we can calculate the slope by the formula delta y over delta x. Yeah, delta y is the difference between the two y coordinates. So it's the subtractions of y2 and y1. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we also write this formula in the opposite side, y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Okay, it's easy for you. I want to emphasize that the index here is respectively. So we have y2 and we have x2 here. Not change the respectively of two variable. Okay, we have some exercises to apply this formula. So I think that you can remember it easier. Okay, I want to change the color of ink to make it easier to follow my lessons. Example, find the slope of a line containing each pair of points. Okay, we have 3 questions here. Question A, -2, 0, and 4, 2. B, 3, 2, and 2, 2. And C, 3, 2, and 3, 5. Okay. The questions requires us to find the slope of the line containing each pair of points. So I want to clear my board to have some space to do this exercise. It is easy for you. It is very easy when you learn the mathematics in the secondary school. It's very familiar with you, these lessons. Okay, y1 minus y2 over s1 minus 2. Okay, so we do together. When we have 2 points, a pair of points, we can apply the slope formula easier because we see that in the slope formula we have y2, y1, s2 at once is in the s and y coordinate of 2 points, a pair of points. So we have s1, y1, s2, y2 is equal, it is similarity to the questions B and C. So we can easy to apply the slope formula. So we can do the A questions very easy. M1, I have an index here to define the number of questions A, B, and C. M1 is for question A. M1, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this is for y2 minus 0 over 4 minus negative 2. 2 minus 0 is 2. 4 minus negative 2 is 4 plus 2, so the answer is 6. 2 over 6 is 1 over 3. We simplify the answers to have a last answer. Okay, M2. Y2 minus y1, so you see 2 minus 2 over 2 minus 3. So the answer is 0. And the last question, M3, 5 minus 2 over 3 minus 3. So here we have a 3 over 0. In the secondary school or primary school, we learned that we have not divisions with the dominant is 0. But in the high school, we know that when we have a number over 0, the answer is infinity. Infinity, that it means a very large number, and it's a very large number. We can learn this information in the next chapter, limits, and we can learn after these lessons. Some time in business, a time for business lessons. Okay. I want to sketch the coordinate to illustrate the values of M2 and M3. Okay. we have a coordinate here. We have a coordinate here. It's axis and y-axis. M2 equals 0 when the slope is 0. We have a line which is perpendicular to OY, or it means that it's parallel to the x-axis, our x. And when we have M3 approach infinity, we have a line in the opposite way, line perpendicular to our x, and it is also perpendicular to our y. Yeah, you can. So in the question this line go through the points 3, 2, and 2, 2. We have that all the points lies on this line have a y coordinate is 2. So we sketch the line go to the point 0, 2 here. Width is parallel to x-axis. Yeah, it is a line delta 2 for the question D, and we can't write the equations, the linear equations. Y equals 2. Y equal 2. Equal 2. Yeah. Okay. And in the C question C, we have M3 equals infinity, and it goes through the point 3, 2, 3, 5. So the point, all the points lies on this line have a coordinate, x coordinate is 3. So it's 3 here, and we sketch the line perpendicular to x-axis here. And because all points have coordinates, its coordinates is 3, and we can write the linear equations of the delta 3 x equals 3. Okay, this is a two special line with the slope equals 0 and approach infinity. I will illustrate in these lines on my board. You must remember the special information. So it is a formula of slopes and some example to apply this formula. We go to the next part of our lesson today. It is about how we can write the linear equation. I can clear my board to have some more spaces to teach the next part of our lesson today. Okay. Now we go to the linear equation. Or we can say that equations for line. This is the basic knowledge and it's very important to you. So in the secondary school, we studied that we have 3 forms of linear equations, and I want to list 3 forms here, and we can do some exercises to apply it. It's very easy for you, but I want to review all of them and to emphasize some skills in do the math. The first form of linear equations we call that is point-slope form. Point-slope form. The second one is slope intercept form. And the last one, general form. It's very important for you to remember three formula of 3 forms and the name of the forms, because when the questions require you write exactly the form of the line, you must choose one of them to write the answer. If you don't choose the correct form, you don't have a last answer, and so your score maybe is not maximum. Okay. I think it's easier for you. Point-slope form. In this name, we have 2 factors, point and slope. So when you write this form, you must have 2 informations in the questions. The first one is point, and the second one is slope. So we have point A is 0, E 0, and you have a slope M. So the formula of this form we can imply from the slope formula. In the slope formula, we have M equal y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I want to review you that this subject we call that is algebra, and algebra is used a lot to represent the number. So we can use any letter or any letter with index to represent some number, one number. For what we call this letter is variable. So we can write y1, y2, or x1, x2, and we also can write it with another letter or another letter with index. So f also equals to y minus y0 over x minus x0. And we change the sign of this term, and we have m times x minus x0 equals y minus y0. And we have a point-slope form here. Y minus y0 equal m times x minus Okay, this is very easy. We go to the second form, slope and intercept. We have two information here, slope and intercept. Slope slope M, intercept. Intercept is intercept with x-axis. So the intercept, we have a point B lies on the x-axis. So it's have a coordinate x 0, 0. Okay. And we have this form. We apply the first formula for the second formula, and we have a form y minus 0 equal m times x minus x 0. Easy? Yeah, it's very easy. So we can simplify this one. Y equals mx, distributive production, and it's minus mx 0. And we let negative mx 0 equals b. And we have the last form, m equals mx plus b. Yeah, here is the form. Here is the form of slope-intercept form. So I will express this formula in the x-intercept. B is the x-intercept. And when we have the last form, and we substitute the x equals 0 to this form, and we have y equal b. So the point x b is also lies on this line, and we have a point a x b lies on this line d. The a have a x coordinate is 0, so it is also lies on the y axis. So a is the intercept of d and y. So we can write this slope-intercept form by using the y-intercept a 0b, and we have directly this form. We have a coordinate here, and the line d. So the y-intercept is 0, b, and the x-intercept is 0.8 and 0.b is 0b, and b here is equals minus negative mx 0. Okay. And the last one is general form. When you expanding all this form to the terms and coefficients, we have a last form here. The last form is those the expansions of the expressions. Ax plus by plus c equals 0. So when you want to write the last form, you must write the first or the second form, and you expanding all the expressions, and you have the last form of the linear equation. So this is the theorem, and we can do some exercises to make you feel easier to remember this linear equation. Điểm bài toán. We have a fractions. Find an equation of H9. Describe. And questions A. Align through the point 2, 3 with slope m equals -3. B. Line vertical line through the point -1, 2. C. Line through -1, 2 and parallel to the graph of 2x minus 5y equals 5. And in these questions, we must write the answers in slope-intercept form. In slope-intercept form. And the question D. A line is also go through the point -1, 2, but it's perpendicular. Also to this line, but in the general form. Okay, we have 4 questions here. So to save our time, we can do it together now. The first question is very easy. The line goes through the point, so it is a point, and it have a slope. So we have two informations, point and slope. So we can write the point slope form. So we just apply our formula with the point 2, 3 and the slope m. You can write the linear equations d y minus 3 equals negative 2 times x minus 2. Okay. We can also translate this form to the general form by expanding this expression. So this is y minus 2 equals distributive production negative 2x. Negative 3 times negative 2, negative times negative is positive. So we plus 2 times 3 times 2 is 6. Hence we write 3x plus y. Negative 3 minus 6 is negative 9 equals 0. This is the general form of this line. We just expanding this expression, and we have the last form for the general. Questions B. A vertical line through negative 1 and 2. As I say in the opening of our lesson, when we have vertical line, it's either perpendicular to x-axis. So the answer is x equals negative 1. Easier. Easy. It's very easy. It's easier for you when I sketch this line in the coordinate. We have a coordinate here. The line is vertical. Okay, maybe it's not go to. We can we have a coordinate here, and when the line is vertical line, so it's vertical to the x-axis, and let's go through the point negative 2, negative 1 and 2. So the point negative 1 to here, so here, negative 1 and 2. So we just sketch the line, vertical line is vertical line, so it's perpendicular to the x-axis. Now, yeah, so it goes through the points x equal negative 1. So we have this form, x equals. It's a very special line. Okay, it's in the question A and B. And when we go to the question C and D, we have two terms I want you to remember. Parallel to the graph and perpendicular to the graph. Parallel to and perpendicular to. So, clear level A questions and the B. This is easier for you. So yeah, we do this question C, parallel to the graph. when we have D1 parallel to D2, the graph must be have the same slope. So M1 equals M2 and B1 not equal to B2. Of course, when I write this formula, I write the slope intercept form with D1 is y equals mx plus m1 plus b1 and d2 y equals m2x plus b2. Okay. And one D1 parallel perpendicular to D2, we have M1 times M2, the versions of M1 and M2 equals -1. This is two formulas, remember. So how can we apply these conditions for the question C and D? I think it's easy for you, but sometimes you forget. Okay, I clear question B to have more spaces to do C and D. So we have D1 parallel to the D2. 2x minus -1 minus 5y equals 5. Okay. It's easy for you to rewrite this form of D1. D1 parallel to D2, so let's have the same coefficients before x and y here. So D1 is 2x minus 5y equals C. Because B1 is not B2, so it is not 5 here, but it is C. And D1 go through the point -1, 2. We can write the mathematical symbols to denote this speech. A, the point A is -1, 2 lies on the lines D1. So we can substitute the coordinate of A of this point to the formula D1. So we have 2 times -1 minus 5 times 2 equals C. So this is -2, -10, and C equals -12. And we rewrite the form D here. D1 2x minus 5y equals C, and C have the answer -12. Okay, I think it's easier. And the questions want you to write these answers in slope intercept form. Slope intercept form. Huh? So we can change the form of this one. We have I write. I clear my words. Space A. Okay. -5y equals -2x -12. and we divide two sides by 5, by -5. So y equals 2/5x plus 12/5. This is the last answer in the intercept, slope-intercept form of this line D1. So when you write the line parallel to another line, you can have the same coordinate before x and y here. And we let c equals these expressions, and we solve c when we substitute the coordinates of this point line on D to the formula you write in the D1 formula. This is a parallel, two lines parallel together. And we go to the question D. The line D1 perpendicular to D2. Yeah. D1 perpendicular to D2. D2 we have a same line in the question C. 2x minus 5y equals 5. It's easy for you to remember that when you have a D1 perpendicular to D2, you must change the coefficient before x and y to y and x, and you change the size of only one of coefficients. So we have two coefficients here, 2 before x and -5 before y. So we have the form x, y, and we change the coefficient. -5, -5, now it become 5. It did not have a negative sign before. Before, and is in the coefficients of y in the D2, and is in the coefficients, the opposite side of these coefficients is before x, not for y now. And 2 here. We rewrite these coefficients before 1, 2, because we change the sign of -5, and 2 will not change the sign. And we can apply the same way to write the D2 like the C questions. We let C equals to this equation equals C. And the lines it also go through the point -1, 2. So we substitute the coordinate of this point to this formula, and we solve C, and we have the last answer. So because A, since A is -1, 2 lies on the D1, so we substitute the point, the coordinate of this point to the formula. 5 times -1 plus 2 times x, 2 times 2 equals C. So the answer C equals -5 plus 4 is what? -1. Okay. So D1 is 5x plus 2y equals -1. And these questions require you to write in general form. So we change the side of -1 and we have the last answer here. 5x plus 2y plus 1 equals 0. Okay, I think it's easy for you. Easy. So why I write the formula before the question C and D, but I just not apply this formula. So I want to illustrate the formula when I do all these questions here. We have two formula, D1 plus D2. As I say in the first, we apply two formulas when D1 and D2 write in the slope intercept form. So I can illustrate this here. If the questions write D2 in the slope intercept form, we have the formula y equals 2 over 5 x minus 1. I change the expressions to this intercept form. So as we can see, it's either D2 slope 2 over 5 and it's either D1 slope 2 over 5. It is the same. 2 over 5, 2 over 5 is the n1 equals n2. And the B1 is -1 and B2 is 12 over 5. So B1 is not equal to B2. This is the first formula. And in the second formula, we have a D1 perpendicular to D2, and we have the versions of two slope is -1. So when we rewrite D1 in slope intercept form, we have D2 in slope intercept form, y equals change the sign and divide two sides by -5. We have 2 over 5 x over 5x minus 1. Okay, it is the same as the questions in the first question. Okay, here. And the answer for the D1 perpendicular to D2, when we change the general form to slope intercept form, we have a y equals -5 over x as -5 over 2x plus 1 over 2. So as we can see, the coefficients before x of this line is 5, 2 over 5 here, and the coefficients before x of the line of this line is -5 over 2. So 2 over 5 times -5/2 equals -1. So this is a formula of D1 perpendicular to D2. I write in the opening of the fractions before do the exercises. Okay, so two things you must remember is the perpendicular form and parallel form. It's easy for you when you apply when the fractions is right in the slope-intercept form, and when the fractions write the linear equations in another form, just like our questions we have done. You must remember how to write the coefficients. Yet when the parallel, you must save the same coefficients before x and y, and when the two lines perpendicular together, you change the coefficients before x and y and only change the signs of one coefficient. This is very important to remember. Lots of things to remember. Okay. We go to the easiest part of our lesson today. It's very easy, but I also want you to I want to review you about this part. It is the draw a graph of each line. It's easy, but I want to review you. Okay, I really want. Draw a graph of each line. Okay. 2x plus 3y equal 9. B, y equal to c is equal -3. And D x 4x minus 2y equals 5. Okay, we have 4 questions here, and we solve it together. When you have a questions, draw the graph of each line, and in geometry, I think you study in the primary school when the lines defined by 2 points. So when you sketch the line, you must have 2 points A and B. So when you have a linear equations of these lines, and the questions require you to draw or sketch a graph of this line, you must choose 2 points lies on this line. And this is very easy for you when you choose the lines also lies on the axis and y-axis, because when you substitute the coordinate with 0, it's easier for you to do the calculation. So we choose the point x equals 0. So you substitute x equals 0 to this line. We have 2 times 0 plus 3y equal 9. So 9. So y is 3. So the first point lies on this line is 0, 3. Okay, we have the first point A, 0, 3. Another point y equals 0. So we substitute this coordinate to the linear equations. We have 2x plus 2 times 0 equals 9. So x equals 9 over 2. Or in decimal form, we can easily write it is 4.5. So the point B is 9 over 2, 0. We sketch the coordinate plane, xy plane, and take 2 points in this coordinate. We have a coordinate here. The first point is 0, 3. 0, 3. 0, 3 is the y-intercept. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 0, 3. And the next one, 9 over 2 is a 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 4. 4.5 is the midpoint of this interval, so it's 9 over 2. And this lies on the x-axis because it have an x coordinate. It have a y coordinate equals 0. So it is the second coordinate. And we connect 2 points. We have the graph of this line. Yeah. It is the graph of line D1, the first question. 2x plus 3y equals 9. I want to rewrite this form, this linear equations in the slope-intercept form, so we can write y equals 2 over 3, negative 2 over 3x. Plus 9 over 2. Maybe. Oh, sorry. Plus 3. Okay. So when you have a slope-intercept form, you can use this form to sketch the graph in another way. We have 3 here in B in the slope-intercept form, in the symbol B in the slope-intercept form. So it's also the intersections of the line and the y-axis of here. Okay, and in the slope-intercept form, we have a negative 2 over 3. So our rise is 2 and our run is 3. So we also So we also write. So we also sketch the slope for 2 right and 3 left, and it have the negative slope. So this line is moved downward to the right, downward to the right. Okay, easy for you. Okay, we go to the next questions. Questions B. Y equals 2. Questions B and question C is two special line is a parallel to x-axis, or maybe we can say is a perpendicular to y-axis. So in the questions B, y equal 2, we select to choose the point here. 2 in the y-axis because y equal to 2 in the y-axis, and we sketch the line parallel to x-axis. It's special but easy. Yeah. It is the form of the line y equal to d1 d2. And the last one, sorry, the third questions, we have a D in the last one, not C. X equals -3. X equals -3 is in the line perpendicular to x-axis. -3, what is -3 in the line number of x-axis? -1, -2, and it's in -3 here. So we sketch the line to go through this coordinate -3 and perpendicular to x-axis. Maybe when you draw this graph, you must sketch along the ruler, But when I check my exercises, it's easier to write by my hand. Okay, and we named this line D3 is equal -3. And the last one, D. You also do these questions by the same way in the question A, but I want to illustrate the another ways by use the slope and intercept form. So I do the last questions in another way by rewrite this linear equations in slope intercept form, and I use slope intercept form to sketch this line. So we change the form of this line to slope intercept form. We have, I do it meticulously. Detail is very easy to follow with me. -2y equals, we change the size of the terms for x, so we also change the sign of this coefficient. -4x plus 5 divide by -2 two sides. Y equals -4x over -2 plus 5 over -2. So y equals -4 over -2 is 2. So the answer is 2x. 5 over -2 is -5 over 2. So it is the slope intercept form of this line. So we sketch the line. The first one is have the negative 5 over 2 is b. So it is also the y-intercept of this form. It is easy for you to remember. Sometimes you confuse that it is y-intercept or x-intercept. So it is easy for you to remember that when you substitute SE0 here, and we have y is equal negative 5x. So y equals negative 5x. So it lies on the y-axis. So it's either y-intercept. Okay. Negative 5 to negative 5 to negative 2 here, negative 4, negative 3. Negative 5 over 2 is negative 2.5. So it's in the midpoint of the negative 2 and negative 3 is here. Yeah, here is the negative 5 here. As is in have and is have the slope 2. So it's two rise and one run. 2 rise and 1 runs. Maybe you can sketch easier for you to sketch 2 rise and 1 runs here. And you move this line parallel to, and it goes through the point negative 5 and 2. So yeah, 2 right 1 run, 2 right 1 run here, 2 right 1 run. Also, it have a positive slope, so it must have a direction upward to the right. And we sketch the line parallel to the red line I sketched it. Maybe it's here, a D4. I can write this y equals 2x minus 5 over 2. Okay. It is the way how we draw the graph of the line. So, as I always say in these exercises, I want to remember you some knowledge about the values of the slope. I draw my board. I clear my board. Have more information for more spacing. When slope m is positive, the line is upward to the right. When m equals 0, the line is parallel to x. When m is negative value, the line is up, downward to the right. Or maybe we can say that it is upward to the left. And when m approach the infinity, the line is perpendicular to x-axis. Or maybe we can say that it is parallel to y-axis. This is perpendicular to y-axis. Yeah. And this blunt illustrates the theorem I write here. The first one is have a negative slope, so it's moving in the directions of this line is downward to the right. This line have slope 2, so it's in the positive value, so it is upward to the right. y equal to is have a slope equals 0, so it's parallel to the x-axis or perpendicular to y-axis. And the last one, D3, is x equal negative 3, so it's parallel to y-axis or perpendicular to x-axis. So this is the end of our lesson today, and I have some homework. I think that when you do the homework, you can review our lessons, and it's easier for you to remember our lesson today. And I will solve my homework in the next exercises, in the next lessons, and hope that you do it very well. So we write some exercises and close our class today, and see you next time in the next lesson. Okay, I clear my board and write the homework for you to do in your home, at home. Question 1. Find the slope of these lines. A 2 negative 6 and 5 negative 12. B 3 6 and negative 2 6. By the equation for each line A through 2 1 2 with slope m equals negative 2. B through 2 0 and 2 in slope except for C through 1 7 with undefined slope. B through 1 7 with slope m equals 0. E vertical line with its intercept F4. F through 2 3 and parallel to the ground. Y equal
2x minus 5 in general form. G through 2, 3 and perpendicular to the graph of 2x minus 3y equals 7. And the last one, H. Through this point and perpendicular to the graph of x equals 5.
Yeah. Yes, this is the exercise you must do at home. This is just apply our lessons and review our lesson today. And I have another questions for you to think when you at home. Show work. To determine if 3, 5, 7, 0 and negative 1, 11 are collinear. Collinear is in the definition of the term lines on the same line. Yeah. Line on the same line, two-point line on the same line is very easy because when I teach you in the openings of our lessons, when we define the line, we must have 2 points A and B. But when the point C, we have another point C. It is hard two lines on the same line AB. So when C is lies on the line AB, we have 2 points A, B, and C are lying on the same line. So we call 3 points are collinear. It is a special situation when in the mathematics. So you must think of it, and I will answer you in the next lesson. Okay, this is our lesson today. Goodbye and see you later. Bye bye.